know, wearing the garland, you can use it as a weapon. Stab someone with it. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Bihari Gopijana Ballabha Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Gopijana Ballabha Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Gopijana Ballabha Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yasodanandana Prahladananda Jaya Prahladananda Yasodanandana Prahladananda Jaya Prahladananda Yamuna Tiravarachari Jaya Kunda Bihari Yamuna Tiravarachari Jaya Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari. Yasodanandana Prahladananda Jaya Prahladananda. Yasodanandana Prahladananda Jaya Prahladananda. Yamunatiravarachari Jaya Kunja Vihari. Yamunatiravarachari Jaya Kunja Vihari. Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhangsa Prabhupada Astadhara Sadushi Shiman. His Divine Grace Lacey Bhaktivedanta Swaraj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hariva Slava Zavrani Bhaktam Slava Shri Guru Shri Gurangi Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhute Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Vicharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskadyade Sadarne. Om Agana Timirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vidham Dham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Vrajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakan Svitamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchena Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Sudha Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Trivyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It's number 6. How come 5 was written on there? What's that? 5 was yesterday. Who writes it on the board, which it is? Because today, in the morning it said 5. Now it says 6. Tomorrow will be 8. Who writes? Who changes it? Where is he? Today it said 5. Now it's gone to 6. Shest. Mojavit. Siam. But tomorrow, if it's all right. Nichivo strashnava. Net problem. Text number 6. Sanjata kopa spuritanuradhanam dharam sandasya davir dadimanta vajanam vidvam rishas rur drishad asmanaraho Jagasa Hayangavam Antaram Gata Sanjata Kopa Spuritarundaram Sandasya Dadvir Dadimantabhajanam Vidvam Rishas Urur Drishad Asmanaraho Jagasa Hayangavam Antaram Gata. Ladies. Tasya biro dadi mantabhajanam Vidvam rishaswar drishadasmana raho Jagasa haigandvam antaragata Sanjata kopa. In this way, Krishna being very angry. Spurita aruna adaram. Swollen reddish lips. Sandasya. Capturing. Dadi. By his teeth. Dadi mantabhajanam. The pot in which yoga was being churned. Vidva, breaking. Mrisha ashru, with false tears in the eyes. Drishat asmana, with a piece of stone. Raha, in a solitary place. Jagasa, began to eat. Hayangavam, the freshly churned butter. Antaram, within the room. Gataha, having gone. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Being very angry and biting his reddish lips with his teeth. Krishna, with false tears in his eyes, broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. Then he entered a room and began to eat the freshly churned butter in a solitary place. Purport. It is natural that when a child becomes angry, he can begin crying with false tears in his eyes. So Krishna did this, and biting his reddish lips with his teeth, he broke the pot with a stone, entered a room and began to eat the freshly churned butter. Then we'll go on reading, but say a few words. Namo Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Prastabhute Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vicharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskadyade Siddharne. We should remember that Urdvam Alamadakshakam Ashvatam Praho Arviyam Tadam Siyasya Parnani Yastvam Vedas Avedavet. That there is a banyan tree, it has its roots upward and its branches are down, and the Vedic hymns are its leaves. The one who knows this tree is said to be the knower of the Vedas. In other words, this material world is the perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Similarly, our activities here are reflections of Krishna's activities. It is not that Krishna is imitating a human being. Human beings imitate Krishna. It's the other way around. So, eternally, when Krishna appears as a child, he doesn't get what he wants, he becomes angry. Similarly, when we don't get what we want, we also become angry like Krishna. As a part and parcel of Krishna, we have the same tendencies that Krishna has. And then crying. Krishna is crying here. It's not that he's putting on a show. Under the spell of Yogamaya, he's actually crying. Of course, his crying is blissful. Separated from yogurt or from Mother Yasoda. But there's false tears in his eyes. They're not actually Krishna's forcing himself to cry. He feels sorry for himself. Even God sometimes feels sorry for himself. And then he's biting his reddish lips. Has anyone ever bit their lips? wouldn't be very pleasant to bite your... Have you bit your lips, Mukunda? I mean, purposely? I think when people are being tortured, they bite their lips, because the pain of biting your lips is less than the torture. It's a distraction from the torture. And then he broke the pot with the stone. Anyone ever take something? Anyone ever, out of anger, broke something? This is not a confession room. And then he took it away to a secluded place. Of course, we all do that. We have something we know we shouldn't be eating or doing. We go to some private, secluded place where no one could see. And if someone walks in, we put on our halo that we're not doing anything. We're completely innocent. So Krishna took away the butter, freshly churned butter, to a secluded place, and then he began to eat it. But of course, as we'll find out, he was feeling guilty. Just like we feel guilty when we're doing something we don't think we're supposed to be doing. And we'll find out how Mother Jasoda perceives Krishna's naughty behavior. So Mother Jasoda, after taking down the hot milk from the oven, returned to the churning spot. And when she saw that the container of yogurt was broken and that Krishna was not present, she concluded that the breaking of the pot was the working of Krishna. So even in the srimad-bhagavatam, there's a detective novel. Mother Jasoda deduced, seeing the evidence, she came up with a conclusion and found that the perpetrator of the crime. And now she's going to pursue the perpetrator of the crime and bring him to justice. Purport: seeing the pot broken and Krishna not present. I mean, this is a real detective novel. Yasoda definitely concluded that the breaking of the pot was the work of Krishna. There is no doubt about it. It's called conviction. Mother Jasoda reached the conclusive proof, examining the evidence. Krishna wasn't there and the pot was broken, so Krishna must have broken the pot. Krishna at that time was sitting on an upside-down wooden mortar for grinding spices. He was distributing milk preparations such as yogurt and butter to the monkeys as he liked. Because of having stolen, he was looking all around with great anxiety, expecting that he might be chastised by his mother, Jasoda. On seeing him, very cautiously approached him from behind. See here, the crook is about to be captured. Purport: Mother Jasoda was able to trace Krishna by following his butter-smeared footprints. So the thief was rather inexperienced. He left clues behind for his capture. She saw that Krishna was stealing butter, and thus she smiled. Meanwhile, the crows also entered the room and came out of fear. Even the crows got into the mystery of the... I guess the crows were just happened to be flying by, and then by chance they entered into the room. But they saw Mother Jasoda sneaking up on Krishna. They also became afraid, and they left. Thus Mother Jasoda found Krishna stealing butter and very anxiously looking here and there. When Lord Krishna saw his mother's stick in hand, he was very quickly got down from the top of the mortar, began to flee as if very much afraid. Although yogis try to capture him as Paramatma by meditation, desiring to enter into the effulgence of the Lord with great austerities and penance, they fail to reach him. But Mother Jasoda, thinking that same personality of Godhead Krishna to be her son, began following Krishna to catch him. Purport: yogis, mystics want to capture Krishna as Paramatma, and with great austerities and penances, they try to approach him. Yet they cannot. Here we see, however, that Krishna is going to be caught by Jasoda and is running away in fear. This illustrates the difference between the bhakta and the yogi. Yogis cannot reach Krishna, but for a pure devotee like Mother Jasoda, Krishna is already caught. Krishna was even afraid of Mother Jasoda's stick. This was mentioned by Queen Kunti in her prayers. Bhaya bhavanaya stitasya. Krishna is afraid of Mother Jasoda, and yogis are afraid of Krishna. Yogis try to reach Krishna by jnana yoga and other yogas, but fail. Yet Mother Jasoda, although Mother Jasoda was a woman, Krishna was afraid of her, as clearly described in this verse. This is all going under Yogamaya. Just like we're under Mahamaya, and therefore we believe things that are going on here are actually real. Well, actually, they're going on, but they're not what we think they are. We're simply observing what's going on, and the activities go on by the arrangements of Krishna, either through his spiritual energy or through his material energy. But we think that we're actually the doers, so that's illusion, as much illusion. Is there some ice cream coming or something? Where's the truck? So we're living much like a dream. But when we engage in devotional service, then it becomes real. Because the reality, Krishna, the basis of reality is Krishna. And when Krishna is there, then the illusory energy goes away and we can perceive and experience things as they actually are, rather than as the dreamlike state that Maya creates for us. So Maya simply means being intoxicated by illusion. And Krishna consciousness means the absence of that intoxication and becoming intoxicated by the spiritual energy. So we have to choose our intoxication, either spiritual or material. So the yogis, under the spell of illusion, they try to capture Krishna, but that's not possible, because no one has any capacity to capture Krishna, because Krishna is God. But Krishna agrees to be captured by the love of his devotees. So love for Krishna is more powerful than even Krishna is. While following Krishna, Mother Jasoda, her thin waist overburdened by her heavy breasts, naturally had to reduce her speed. Because of following Krishna very swiftly, her hair became loose, and the flowers in her hair were falling after her. Yet she did not fail to capture her son Krishna. So if you see Krishna, you can try and run after him also. But don't expect to capture him so easily. You have to run really fast. Pantastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo vayora tapi manaso munipunganavanam sopyasti yat prapano simnya vichintyatadve govindam adi purusham tamahang vijami. Who knows what that means? Pantastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo. Pantasta koti shatavatsara sampragamyo vayora tapi manasamunu pungavanam. That the great yogis, even running at the speed of the mind for many millions of years, koti, they cannot capture Krishna. Or Pantastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo vayora tapi manaso muni pungavanam. The great sages cannot capture Krishna by their meditation. Sopyasti yat prapada simnya vichinti tadve. Nor can those drilling the respiration for many, many koti, thousands of years, capture Krishna. Krishna can only capture by the devotee because of the devotee's love for Krishna. As Vilamangal Thakur said, "My dear Krishna, you may try to leave my heart, but that's not possible because I've captured you there." So we should also try to capture Krishna in our heart. That's the success of our life. But we can only do it through service and love. That's the only way Krishna is going to stay there. But if we get rid of capturing other things in our heart, then naturally our love for Krishna, which is dormant, will manifest itself. And the result was Krishna will stay there to perform his pastimes, even in our heart. Purport. Yogis cannot capture Krishna by severe penances and austerities. But Mother Yasoda, despite all obstacles, was finally able to capture Krishna without difficulty. This is the difference between a yogi and a bhakta. Yogis cannot even enter into the effulgence of Krishna. Yasya prabhava pravato jagadanda kotishu. Brahmasimhita 540. In that effulgence there are millions of universes. But yogis and jnanis cannot enter that effulgence even after many, many years of austerities. Whereas bhaktas can capture Krishna simply by love and affection. This is the example shown here by Mother Yasoda. Krishna therefore confirms that if one wants to capture him, one must undertake devotional service. After all, what other kind of relationship do we want with Krishna? If we want to live eternally with someone, then we might as well live eternally with them out of pure love. There's no other consciousness which would be suitable for an eternal relationship. Could you imagine having to live with someone you hated eternally? That would be rather unpleasant. But if you live with someone you love eternally and who loves you, that's a very nice arrangement. Especially if they have unlimited love for you and you have unlimited love for them, ever increasing. Bhakti mam abhijananti yavanyas chasmi tatvataha tato mam tatvato gyatva vishite tadanantaram. Bhaktas can enter even the planet of Krishna very easily, but the less intelligent yogis and jnanis, by their meditation, remaining running after Krishna. Even if they enter Krishna's effulgence, they fall down. Spend so many thousands of lifetimes trying to enter into Krishna's effulgence. Then when you get there, you wind up coming back anyhow. Shravam evihi kevalam. It's called a waste of time. Text 11. When caught by Mother Yasoda, Krishna became more and more afraid and admitted to being an offender. As she looked upon him, she saw that he was crying, his tears mixing with the black ointment around his eyes. As he rubbed his eyes with his hand, he smeared the ointment all over his face. Mother Yasoda, capturing her beautiful son by the hand, mildly began to chastise him. Purport. From these dealings between Mother Yasoda and Krishna, we can understand the exalted position of a pure devotee in loving service to the Lord. Yogis, jnanis, karmis, and vedantanists cannot even approach him. They must remain very, very far from him and try to enter his bodily effulgence. Although this also they are unable to do. Great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva always worship the Lord by meditation and by service. Even the most powerful Yamaraj fears Krishna. Therefore, as we find in the history of Ajamil, Yamaraj instructed his followers not even to approach the devotees, what to speak of capturing them. In other words, Yamaraj also fears Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Yet this Krishna became so dependent on Mother Yasoda that when she simply showed Krishna the stick in her hand, Krishna admitted to being an offender, began to cry like an ordinary child. That doesn't mean we should go to the deities with a stick in a hand and say, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you're an offender. That would not be a good idea. Krishna admitted to being an offender and began to cry like an ordinary child. Mother Yasoda, of course, did not want to chastise her beloved child very much. Therefore, she immediately threw the stick away and simply rebuked Krishna, saying, "Now I shall bind you so that you cannot commit any further offensive activities, nor for the time being can you play with your playmates." This shows the position of a pure devotee, in contrast with others, like jnanis and yogis, and the followers of the Vedantic ritualistic ceremonies, in regard to the transcendental nature of the absolute truth. So there's a time coming that one day, when we become qualified, that we can even chastise Krishna. And Krishna will enjoy it. Just think, the same personality who's in all the universes, in every atom, and he's enjoying an unlimited Vaikuntha planets, and in Goloka Vrindavan, which is bigger than all the Vaikuntha planets, one day we can take a stick and say, "Krishna, you're an offender." And Krishna will start crying, saying, "Yes, I admit I'm an offender. I surrender." Quite amazing, isn't it? Just by his breathing, all these universes are created. And by his outward breathing, the universe is created. And by inward breathing, they're all destroyed. And the same Krishna, Mother Yasoda holds the stick up to him, and he starts crying in the midst of being an offender. I mean, that's quite amazing. Of course, we'll be amazed if we believe in it, but if we if we don't take it seriously, how wonderful, how amazing this is, doesn't seem very amazing. So I'll stop there, because we can go on, but we still have some days left in. So I don't want to read the whole pastime at once. Besides, we want to leave you in a suspense what happens to Krishna. So, thank you. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna. How can we avoid imitating this kind of pastimes?
Don't carry out a stick. And especially if you have a stick, don't show it to Krishna and try to chastise it. Imitating, how are you going to imitate it? First of all, you have to get Krishna there. That's not so easy. What do you mean by imitating? I think, well, how to avoid it? You could try it and see what the results are. Well, if we have pure love, we can do it. But if we don't, then we should. We're trying to approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of awe and reverence, so we can improve our devotional service. But if we don't approach him with awe and reverence and participate as a humble servant, Trinadapi Sunichena, we probably won't get the taste for chanting the holy name. Instead of that, we'll become proud. I'm chastising God. So we won't be able to chant the holy name, and we'll remain in material existence. So how can we avoid it? Well, use our intelligence. Be honest. What is our position? Who are we to chastise God? Besides, what did he do wrong? He doesn't do it. Apparently, he doesn't do anything. Just chants all day long. So what's wrong with that? What are we going to find wrong with that? Anyhow, we have to use our intelligence and see what our position is and act accordingly. Not imitate great devotees like Mother Yasoda, who only sees Krishna purely with love. So when we come to the platform of ecstatic love, then that feeling might be there. Right now we're in Maya. We should be chastised, not Krishna. Anything else? Hvala Grantaraj srimad-bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Hare